Life Purple here, and this says 5 reasons bugging in will kill you. Now, like I said, this is just point of views from different articles I researched to pick up. Does not mean I agree with him. And some people believe bugging in is the best answer. Some people believe bugging out is the best answer. I believe there's a give and take in both situations. I think sometimes you have to bug in for a while, but then again, you may be forced to bug out. So this one here is saying the 5 reasons why bugging in will kill you. Uh, and this was dated May the 1st, 2014. For many of us, the option of bugging out is all but impossible. We might have small children and might even be physically unable to make any type of long hike to safety. We believe that bugging in, staying in our homes with all of our supplies while fortified as well as possible, is our only option. But I believe this would end up being fatal for those of you who are physically unable to bug out. This is not meant to be desperation, only reality. The post-SHTF world will be an unforgiving and violent place where only the strong and or prepared will even have a slight chance for survival. This list of reasons why you should bug out is not a complete list, only what I consider the top 5 reasons why it is imperative that you figure out a way to get out of Dodge when all hell breaks loose. I conceal that I can see that if you live in a rural or isolated area, this article is not for you. This is for our brothers and sisters who live in cities or suburban areas. And remember, I was talking about on some of the other articles I posted that in some cases, people has never lived outside the city. If you lived in huge cities like New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Florida, uh, many of the other areas, you know no other way of life but that. And in many cases, most people don't even own a vehicle. Many of them live in apartments. Many of them are physically not able to travel. And even if they are physically able to travel, they have no idea where to go and how to survive in the situation. So sometimes bugging in has become the only option for these people in a situation. There is advantage to bugging in, and there's advantage to not bugging in. Like I said, the location has a lot to do with it. How well you be able to secure your place to live in can be another issue on it. Nothing is foolproof. Now, number one is your neighbors will quickly figure out that you have supplies. We like to think that we have great relationships with our neighbors, but relationships only go so far when starvation and dehydration takes into effect. Your neighbors will not starve to death quietly. They will get desperate and they will use whatever means they have in order to provide for their families. It is only a matter of time before it becomes necessary for you to use violence against potential looters. As soon as you pull your trigger in an urban environment, you will have already killed yourself. Not only will it be evident that you have supplies of food, but everyone around you will then realize you have weapons and ammunition. This might frighten them for a short time, but when they get desperate enough, they will try to make a play for your home. Again, that's really not talking much about what you have in supplies. Again, that's creating different areas to hide your supplies in event that they do break in and take food. I was watching this science fiction movie, and these people come in and they took all their food. Well, what they did, they was hiding in a casino and stuff basically during a zombie apocalypse. So instead of having the food in different places, they had it all in one spot and they took everything. They did not leave these people any food at all. They took it all for themselves because they felt they was more important and more entitled to it than they were. So number two is most homes couldn't even stock a 22 LR round. Gone are the days of the log cabins or brick homes, more than just a uh, portico on the front of the house. The modern homes is made of nothing but siding, plywood, and plywood, none of which can even stop the smallest caliber ammunition. And then I brought that up too about what you're living in has a lot to do with it. A desperate refugee looking for food with nothing but a pistol can all but mince meat out of your home. I agree that a smart person wouldn't use massive amount of ammunition or on an unseen foe. But remember, we are talking about starving refugees here. This is doubtly relevant in the event of a large group of bandits or raiders. And that's what I was talking about. People who has trailers, double wides, homes that's made of wood and vinyl siding. It's not very strong. I mean, the thing is, it has its good points and its bad points, just like anything else. That's something you have to yourself figure out what you are going to do in a situation, whether you bug it in or bug it out. It has its good points and bad points in the location where you live at. Number three, eventually you will need to grow your own food. The truth is that no matter how much you have prepared or how much stock of food and water you have, eventually your supplies will run out. Not only do most neighborhoods not have a good source of clean drinking water, but there are most likely no large open tracts of land for agriculture. Additionally, in the world where isolation is paramount, tending to even a small garden requires a lot of time outside, potentially exposing you and your loved ones to attack. Uh, that is a risk you will have to take in a survival situation. And you've got to remember too, a percentage of the population will be on decline. So that is another thing you have to think about also. Within the first few weeks, many of people who are in severe health conditions, unfortunately, many of the elderly people, many of these people who will die due to sickness and disease. Then you're going to have many of them falling by starvation. It's going to end up passing away. Many of them's not going to make it through the first winter. So there will be a decline in the population, unfortunately, when there's a time you will be forced to raise your crop. And then you still have to think about being careful when you're doing this. And of course, other people taking the food that you are growing. Then it says number four is neighborhoods will be one of the first targets for raiders after all sorts sort off aid from expanded, cut off sources of aid from expanded. It is not unrealistic to think that gangs of criminals will group up in large gangs. These groups will not necessarily be well armed, but most will have some weapons and a basic understanding how to use them. It says these groups of people will swarm over urban areas like locusts. To think otherwise will be setting yourself up for a world of hurt. The people that will make up these gangs don't respect human life right now. How do you think they will treat you and your loved ones in a world with no law or order? These groups will be probably a threat in rural area eventually, but they will be a threat almost immediately in the urban area. Again, this is what I was talking about. That you're gonna a lot of these hamburger flippers is working minimum wage jobs and things like that who've never done anything except earn an honest day pay will change overnight and become something that they would have not become ordinarily in a situation like that. And number five is in case of martial law, there will be almost no way to hide in neighborhoods from government law enforcement. It is not out of the scope of reality to think that during an SHTF event that our government will make last desperate plays to maintain power. They will want to group people together in an effort to maintain control and symbolism of order. You do not want to be thrown in with large groups of desperate refugees. Does a Superdome post Katrina ring a bell? Unfortunately, if you live in neighborhoods, you will be subject to illegal search and or internment. Most likely, even if you want to stay in your home, mandatory evaluation will make it impossible anyway. I know that bugging out isn't possible for many of us, but I would like to stress to you that if there is any chance you can figure a way to leave your home in the event that everything goes belly up, you should do this. The alternative will definitely be fatal. You might be able to hold out for a few days or a few weeks or even a couple of months, but eventually it will kill you. I know some of you will think that I've got some type of Walking Dead fantasy of what will happen when everything goes to shit. But this is based out of an outstanding of what people are capable of in desperate situations. As I said in previous articles, there's no more dangerous than a desperate, starving human being. Now, the thing is a lot of them has to consider their age and their physical condition and things in that area. Again, falling out, like I say, bugging out immediately may not be the best option. And it's kind of sad to say, but I'd rather kind of wait a little bit and let them kind of kill each other off some and give me a better fighting chance, because within the first few days, the first couple of weeks, it's going to be madness. It's going to be out of control. If I'm able to survive and hold my own for a couple of weeks until things uh, gets to the point where I can bug out, then that's what I want to hope for. Bugging out right off the bat is not necessarily the best thing to do, because you are going to have chaos still. Maybe, I might be able to hold up a little bit longer in a shelter environment somewhere. Maybe I'll go somewhere that I can stay and hide for a while, with my bug out bag and my supplies for a while till I'm forced to move on. This is just a what if. It's hard to really be 100% say what one can do. For many people, bugging out is not an option. They cannot leave their children behind. They will not leave their family members behind. Many of them are physically just not able to do it. Many of them are financially does not have the money or the ways to get out and have a place to go into another location. Many people have never left the city to know. For them, bugging out is more dangerous than bugging in and trying to survive within the city confines. So, this is just 5 reasons from this person's point of view why bugging in will kill you. What do you think? So, I don't agree on everything on these articles. I'm in a gray area on some of them. I am just posting these for you to think and say, maybe, yay, nay, you like it or you don't like it. So, this live prayer, I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.